We'd like to thank Miller Outdoor Adventures today for sponsoring this episode, and we appreciate them. Located in Northeast Arkansas on the Cache River. Let me tell you something before you skip past. You guys need to hear this. If you mention the MVM show to them, they will give you a $50 a day discount on their rates. So what's really cool about these guys, Travis, is that they do guided hunts or self-guided hunts. I like that option. I like being able to do it myself if I want to do it or with people. But they got rice and bean fields. They got duck and snow goose conservation hunts. They have all their prices on their site. It's MillerOutdoorAdventures.com. You can call or text them to book a hunt at 870-586-3004. Very family friendly. And you can bring your own dog if you want, which I think is pretty cool. You can check them out on Facebook at Miller Outdoor Adventure NEA. And like I said, check them out, guys, and don't forget to mention the MVM show when you call up. They're out there in Northeast Arkansas, and we might even be finding ourselves out there one of these days very soon. So they got available dates in November, December, and January, and then they got the unguided snow goose hunts, and they got dates in February from like February 2nd to the 28th, so the whole month. But days are going off. I already see the updated list that he sent me. And dates are dropping off pretty fast. So, in fact, they've only got 2 days left for guided snow goose conservation hunts in February, and they only have 3 dates left in March. So go check them out. You will not be disappointed. Great people. Nice guy. I've talked to him. And thank you and thank them for sponsoring this podcast today. So, Big Dog Travis is going to be doing...
Yeah, so this is Travis with, I guess I'm with Mid-Valley Mercenaries.
I would say so.
I'm a small part of it, but
whatever.
today I would just kind of like to, I've known Titus since he was knee-high to a short, ugly grasshopper. And, and he, a few years back, he decided to start doing some filming, and it's blossomed into a YouTube channel. And I just never really. I think we talk all the time. We talk a lot.
Mm-hmm. We're best friends.
I just kind of like to do like an interview with them, and got a couple questions for him, just questions I've thought about, and kind of like an interview. And so here we go. So first question. So how do you feel that Mid-Valley Mercenaries has affected your life? The whole Mid-Valley Mercenaries thing, the YouTube channel, and what. How has it affected your life?
Personally? I think it's affected it. It has brought a lot of new people in my life. People that I would have never met, good people. For instance, I mean, look at, Jordan from Duck Gun Chronicles, Elliot from Freelance Duck Hunting, and his dad, and his I know his family and his kids now, his wife and his kids. They actually put me up for a night in their house. I mean, amazing conversations. And I don't like staying with a lot of people or hanging out with people I'm not been growing up with. But I felt right at home. I mean, we sat and drank coffee with him and actually even Aiden from Cherry Creek Outdoors till midnight. And then went and scouted and had fun, during the summer this year when I was out there working.
Yeah.
How would I ever had that relationship without it? Matt Zavonik, even you've got to experience that. That's another friendship, another state, Nebraska. Josh from Outdoor Limits, he's out there in Kansas too. So, I mean, to me, it's brought a lot of relationships to my life. I look at it more like that. Like, I can sit here and say things about, oh, I got this sponsor. And that's cool. And that's awesome. It helps take care of stuff for me. But that is, honest to God, not why I'm doing it. That hasn't changed that hasn't affected my life. And that's going to come and go.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
That's not something that I look at and think, man, that's a big part of my life. And if that goes away, that's just going to be the end of the world. I've been buying all my stuff for years and years, and I take care of myself, and I work hard for what I have. And whether it's Sitka or whatever it is that people want to trash or say stuff about, hey, I worked for that. I worked hard for that. And how this channel has affected me. I mean, man, that's a broad question because I'm trying to think.
It is really broad. We started out broad. Like,
well, I mean, there's so many things. Like, what are you thinking of
No, I
specifically
mean, like,
too? Like,
to me, I'm thinking like, okay, how has it affected you? And is like, okay, that's something that I see as a positive, right? You've met people that you would have never met before. You've developed relationships that you never done before. Duck hunting is fun. We enjoy it. You know, it's what we enjoy. But so much more than that is when you meet people and you get to become a part of their lives and you have a positive relationship. It's centered around something that's good, that's wholesome, or can be good and wholesome if you treat it right. It's a positive. So I'm thinking that's it viewed you in a positive aspect of it. Of course, it's taking up more of your time, right? It takes up time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, it takes away time, you know, from your family in a sense, you know, things like that. So, but I think the rewards of it have been outweighed anything as far as like, you know, the time that's taken away or whatever. And you're already doing it. And we talked about before the memories that you have from these hunts. You know, you remember certain things about hunts, but you can now look back and visually relive that moment.
Well, that's why we started doing it in the first place. And I've said this a bazillion times, but the reason we started, I didn't know you get paid for doing videos on YouTube when I started this. I had no idea. I just wanted to say, hey, this is a place like, okay, I record this hunt. I got it on my computer. That's great and fine and dandy. But no one else can see it besides me. What about sticking it on a platform that Travis, whenever he wants to go back and watch it, can watch it. When Thomas wants to go back and watch it, they have the liberty on a platform that is shared.
Yeah.
I never thought anybody was going to go sit there and watch it and subscribe to the channel.
So it's more from what you intentionally intended it to be to what it is
and I
today,
still, even today, like, okay, I'm not going to lie. I get frustrated when there's a good video and it doesn't get a lot of views. I'm like, but then you see someone else's that gets some and it's like trash footage and you're like, what in the world, man?
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't.
And that was kind of my next question. You know, what was your inspiration? And you talked about that, you know, being wanting to just be able to go back and look at your hunts, relive the moments that, you know, people that you were hunting with can look back on it. And so that's really cool. So my next question was, how long have you been actually filming? Because I know that, you know, you've grown as far as, I think that your editing skills have went up. You seem to be doing more and more where you kind of have reached in and seen what viewers want to see, right? Seen it from that point of view. And, you know, what were you into filming before? Were you into photography or anything like that? What inspired you? Because it takes a certain set of skills to be able to go out and somebody's like looking at my truck.
Are they looking at your truck?
That's what I was wondering.
He stopped right by it, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Looking out the window.
Is he really?
I don't know if he's trying to get in.
He looks like he's hidden right behind. What in the world, dude? Hold on. Let me.
He's got some kind of bag. Or he's got a blower?
No, I don't know. We'll keep it rolling. Keep them updated.
Yeah, so I got my car parked out here in front of Titus's, and it looks like there's an older gentleman right next to my truck, and he's bent over, and maybe he lives there. Maybe he's doing yard work. Yeah.
Dude, you know what it is? It's the neighbor. It's his mom's house. And they vacuuming up the leaves, and he's trying to get the leaves. You parked right in front of her house, so he must not be liking that probably.
Maybe not. He's like, who is this guy?
He's not. No, he lives. It's his mom that lives in that house.
I was like, what is that
Dude,
guy
I thought he was
do?
getting ready to break in your truck.
There's nothing in there for him to steal, but I mean,
I don't understand. Like, see
yeah,
how
I
he's got
see
the
it now.
dills?
Yeah.
It's like it's not sucking though.
I know
like
you
the
guys
leaves
can't
up.
visually see this, but we're getting a good time out of it. All right. Well, we can get back on topic.
I can't remember what I was saying.
We were talking about. I was asking you. You know, were you filming prior to starting your YouTube channel? Was you into filming?
I kind of was, because as a kid, my mom and dad had a camcorder, and I was always doing stupid stuff. Like, I'm talking. My mom has videos for me like 8 years old, 9 years old, doing that little kid obnoxious, walking around the house, running around the house, videoing everybody, videoing myself slamming, dunking on the rim when it's
Gotcha.
You know.
I remember something about like a your own X Games, right?
Yeah, we did that. Yeah, so I was always kind of interested in that stuff.
Gotcha.
Pictures, I've always loved good photography. I've always have.
Yeah.
I've
always gone into that a little bit more lately, right?
Yeah, this year I finally invested the money and decided, like, I'm doing it. This is what I want to do. And Caleb's a great
Caleb, what's his
Marmolejo.
does he have like a
Yeah.
Instagram
Check
or
him out.
a Facebook page or what? I mean, how can people go and look at
Yeah,
Caleb's stuff? And who's kind of been like your mentor, right?
He's
kind of
my
in
mentor.
this?
That's the word I was looking for. It's Caleb, CALEB.Marmo, MARMOLEJO. He's gonna blow up one of these days. Like here's the thing is Caleb's super humble. And
Yeah,
Caleb
really
is a
super
great
nice guy.
Awesome guy. Like we've become very good friends. We talk probably 3-4 times a week.
Awesome. Yeah, I've met him once and had really a good
He's
time.
actually a producer. He's the producer for Bethel Music. And if you go on Bethel Music's page, they have 1.7 million. I mean, they're huge on Instagram, but they're huge. They create music all over the world because they do like high end production, like music videos and all that stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he's the producer.
Nice.
Like he's the main guy.
Okay.
Well, Caleb, here's another example of what Mid Valley Mercenaries has done. Is he's like, dude, I just saw you as a guy truly trying to help new duck hunters, right? And he said the first video he ever seen of me was the one get into duck hunting for cheap. He goes, that's the first video, and he goes, I watched like 4 or 5 minutes of it because I wanted to get into it. And he goes, you literally answered all the questions I was wondering as a guy that knows nothing about it.
Yeah.
And he said after like 4 minutes of watching, like, this guy's not just trying to make a video. He's trying to actually help people, which is, I feel like I've always tried to be a sincere person. I'm not, if I wasn't, I'd be putting up these stupid faces and on my thumbnails and all these little things that are, what's the word I'm looking for?
Kind of like clickbait type of stuff.
Clickbait stuff like everybody else does. And they get all these views. It's like, I'm not going to sacrifice who I am to try to fit in this clickbait style to get more views. That's not me. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I'm a public land duck hunter out in there with everybody else.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say, oh, he's this guy on this platform on the videos, but he's this guy in person. I want people like, man, he's the same. You know how many times I've been told that, Travis? Meeting people in person, like, you're the same as you are in your videos.
Yeah. And that kind of leads me to my next question. Would you consider yourself?
Hold on. I never finished about Caleb, though.
Okay.
Caleb
needs props.
Yes, because he's majorly helped. He listens to the podcast. We're actually going to go hunting next week together. We're going to try to get a bunch of content and stuff. But anyways, he messaged me, emailed me, and I seen it, and I was like, I get a lot of emails, honestly, on midvalleymercenaries@gmail.com, and I try to respond to everybody. Sometimes they get through my fingers, I forget or get busy, and I feel bad because it's just impossible to try to keep up with that stuff. But I truly want to help, so I try to, even if it's like a year late, I've emailed people back like a year later, like, I never responded to this guy, and I try to go back. Plus Instagram, Facebook, all that. But he sent me some of his work in his email. He's all, this is some of the work I've done. I would really like to get out and film for you guys. I don't want nothing from you. I just want to film. And I looked at his stuff, and I was like, holy cow, his stuff's really good. Well, that was 2 years ago, but we didn't end up getting to hook up.
Yeah.
Well, then I think he messaged me and we started slowly talking on Instagram or something. And then we ended up hooking up. I think that was the first time last year in Northern California.
Northern California, yeah.
I was up there first. Wait a minute. How'd that work out?
Did you meet him before?
You guys came up on that week.
Talked quite a bit, but we came up, we went up north.
But that was the same weekend I hunted with.
He hunted. Remember he shot his first duck that hunt.
No, but he was filming stuff. It was just me, him. Who was up there with me? It wasn't just me. I think it was Nathaniel.
Okay.
Or something. Because remember, I was up there before. Yeah, it was me and Nathaniel were up there, I think. And he's like, I'm going to bring my cameras. I got this expensive camera. And then he was going to, I think that was on a, whatever day it was, midweek day. And then Saturday, you guys rolled up Friday night.
Okay, because I came up with Jake.
Yeah. I think that was it. Maybe we met before that. I can't remember. Anyways, okay. Man, we hit it just like that. And so again, where would that have come from without that? Never.
Yeah,
never in a million years. So it's up to me. It's the biggest part is the relationships.
Yeah.
And getting to be able to travel more and do more, because I couldn't just do it off of what I make. But this has helped substantiate a little bit and help me for these trips and us to get to go on stuff, opportunities.
Gotcha. All right. So my next question: would you consider yourself a role model?
Well, I don't think anybody likes to think of themselves as like someone people like look up to or, but you have to be, because I am, because I put myself out there.
You put yourself out there. So in a sense, people
It's not.
I think you would be, whether you chose to say, "Oh, I'm a role model," "I'm not a role model."
Yeah.
You don't
You
really
are.
have that option to
You
say,
don't.
"I'm a role model" or "I'm not a role model," because when you put yourself into the position that you're in, I would say, people look at you, and whether you like it or not, they make judgments off of that, and they have a perception of you, and we know. There's a lot of young people getting into duck hunting. Duck Dynasty, I think, influenced a lot of people to duck hunt.
Oh yeah.
And so role model, influence, whatever you want to call it. I mean, how do you view that responsibility of people watching you? I mean, do you take that seriously? Do you I don't care, what they think? I'm just going to do my thing. I'm not going to change who I am. Or what you are and what you portray is, like you said, people said, you're the same here as you are on video. Is that something that you have to work at, or does it just come naturally? You get where I'm going with this question.
Well, I looked up role model just out of curiosity what it means. It says a person whose behavior, example, or success is or can be emulated by others, especially by younger people. I don't every time I'm going out think about how I'm affecting younger people or people in general, or I'm a role model, I got to do this or that. But I do think about what I say, what I do, how I act, how I present myself, how I hunt, what I try to teach others. To be honest with you, Travis, I really think it has affected me in a positive way, because I'm not saying I was doing bad things or at all. Trust me, I was keeping the regs and the rules, but I have tried to be more disciplined in my own self and maybe shots taken. But I think that's part of growing in general anyways, right? Like as you grow as a duck hunter, we go through these phases. We've talked about that. And I want to do another episode on that.
There's phases.
Dude, the first phase of your life is all about shooting 7 birds, or your limit, whatever that is in whatever state you're in. You're right. You want to shoot that limit. And you don't even you can't even identify birds. And you're just, I got 7 birds. It doesn't matter to you if it's 7 hen shufflers or whatever. It's like, I got 7 birds. That's cool. And that's a time and place for that's cool. But I don't feel like I should be at 15, 20 years of duck hunting still being that same deal, because there's a maturity level. Like I don't have to shoot 7 birds when I go out duck hunting. Like today, we're going to go out hunting. We may shoot 1 Drake Mallard, period, between 3 of us.
Yeah.
Or we may shoot 1 apiece. Either way that works out, I'm going to be just as happy.
Yeah, and I don't care who shoots it.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm kind of at, like you're talking about stages. I'm at that stage where
exactly.
I just I want to be out there. I haven't been out this season. I want to be out there. I don't care if you shoot the bird. I don't care if Thomas shoots the bird. I don't care if it's triple banded. I could care less. It's just about being out there and having fun.
Exactly.
And enjoying the moments, and just and that's one thing I've really focused on this year is just enjoy the moment. And enjoy the process.
Well, I don't want to get off on this tangent because I'm trying to answer your questions, but I keep going off on rabbit trails. But we've had this conversation so many times. It's not, and it's taken me longer, and I figured this out a while back, a few years back. It's not it's the journey that we talk about and that we love. It is not the experience. It is not the shooting the duck. Yes, that is one of my favorite things in duck hunting, is a bird to be locked and cupped and coming right in, green head, orange feet down. Like you never forget those mental pictures.
You see that mental picture. You don't see the impact of the
the impact of the shells hitting.
You don't see that. You see the bird locked up coming in.
That's just the heart. That's the final touch of the whole process. But getting back to the role model thing, I mean, whether I like it or not, and I don't not like it, right? I don't mind. I don't get a gleeful delight out of, all these young kids like me, or they, and I'm talking about local kids, the young guys, right? They're always coming around. We're always talking, and I can get on their level because we have something to relate about.
Yeah.
Normally, I'm not going to relate much to a 14, 15-year-old, right, as a 37-year-old man. But when we have common things as far as calling, working ducks, not shooting them high, how hard that was walking through that mud or whatever it is, dude, we could talk for hours. It's not because they're extra mature or I'm really immature to get on their level. It's because we have one common thing that we love to do, and it brings us together. And so the role model thing is, it does pressure me and make me want to be better. It makes me want to portray the right attitude. And you don't have to be stupid or act like a moron shooting the ice or doing stupid things to draw attention to make more people watch your videos or more clicks, or man, I want to hunt with you because you just have such a good time. You can have such a good time. I feel like Caleb has said this. He's like, dude, I've hunted with other people waterfowl. He goes, it ain't nowhere near as fun with hunting like when it was with you and Travis and Talon that one time. He said that to me lots of times.
Mm-hmm.
And what were we doing out there that was crazy? We weren't acting stupid. We were
just out there
screaming and hollering.
Yeah.
We were just, it was sincerity, and we were being us. And I guess us is to laugh and to smile and to high five and have a good time, but then get serious when it's time to get serious.
Yeah.
You know?
Gotcha.
So I don't know. I don't feel like I really answered your question about that, but I do take it serious. I do take it serious. I absolutely do. And it's not just people way younger in their early teens or young. I know a lot of people have said, hey, I'm a full-grown adult. You know, I'm 30, 40, 50 years old. I'm just getting into it, you know? And so I'm like, dude, that's awesome. You know, like, I'm glad I can have an impact because we talk all the time about hunters' numbers being down.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't get into it for this, but this is part of it's taken, and I'm glad I can be a positive one.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I've been. I mean, I've made mistakes. Like last year in a video, I flock shooted into a massive group of honkers, and I look back at it now. I got caught up in the moment. That was a bad call. That was a bad decision. To me, that wasn't being a good role model. But here's the ticket, and that is being honest about your mistakes. And a lot of people don't want to do that. I did that one episode about the guy that basically shot right at this dog, a whole group of people that shot right at this dog as he broke, and never once could just say, you know what, that was dumb of me to even raise my gun and point it that way towards the dog. Instead, it just was, well, you know, you haters. It's like, dude, I get hate. I get plenty of hate. But none of it's legit. There's times when people say stuff like Kevin's dad was like giving me a hard time about that. I guess he was on the phone. I was all, you're right. I shouldn't have did that. You know, it's not the end of the world, but you gotta admit your faults. Just like we did a political podcast a while back about Joe Biden and the Afghanistan debacle thing. He was just saying how good he did and how good he was and praising himself. It's like that was not a success.
Yeah.
So that type of role model, never admitting wrong and never admitting you made a mistake, is bad attitude. And that's one thing I won't ever do is I will admit, I want to be that way, you know. So.
And that was kind of my next question, you know, because I think on any YouTube channel, if you scroll through the comments and if you pay any attention to it, you're gonna have that certain aspect of people that are looking for anything at all to be critical about, and you know. And you know, or people suggest things, you know, they may not come out and actually say it. You know, people are a lot more bold when they're behind a keyboard and they're not face to face or whatever. But how has, you know, there's been positives to Mid Valley Mercies and what you're doing, but how has the negative things influenced you? You kind of talked about that. You know, you're looking like things. You know, you're willing to admit when you're wrong, and you know, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. You know, but it's not something that you try to edit out of the video. Like, okay,
no,
you know. This basically what you're seeing is what
I've left it open.
You've left it open.
I've left myself open for ridicule.
And so I mean, how do you face ridicule? Ridicule? Do you think it's just something that's always going to be there no matter what? Which I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
But how does it affect you? Do you change your approach at all? Do you keep doing what you're doing, or do you try to be one of those people that cater to everybody? And I don't think that that's something that knowing you on a personal level that you try to do. I think that you are who you say you are, and you know, I don't see you acting any different. Like, oh yeah, Tyus acts this way. Because I'm not around you 24 hours a day, right? I'm watching your videos like, oh yeah, Tyus doesn't act like that. And when he's not on video, I don't see that in you. But how has negativity when you're out in public? Are you always like looking over your shoulder, like, okay, you know, when's this somebody gonna come up to me and you know, and like, you know, get in my face about something that they seen or you know about they don't like, or do you
that's
just
the funny
keep
thing
going? You know,
that's the funny thing about that. That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. It hasn't happened yet, and it's not going to happen. Guys don't have the balls to come up to me or Thomas or you and say something about us. But like you said, they'll hide behind a keyboard. I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm being fully open right here, and that's what I always want to do. And I was going to do a podcast on this anyways. But somebody called a federal game warden trying to get us in trouble for filming. okay, they almost would be correct. And I wonder, I really truly believe that the people that did that probably listen to this. I know they watch the videos. They may not listen to this podcast. But the thing is they were trying to stand, all they had was the federal game warden called us. And he knows who we are. He said he even watches the videos. He says, I've never seen one thing you guys did illegally or wrong or unethically. And think about that. That's coming from a federal game warden. He is not a friend. He's not a friend as in we've known him for years and he's just trying to cover bases for us.
Yeah.
He straight up called me, Thomas first, talked to him for 40 minutes because we've talked to the game wardens around here.
Yeah.
We tried it. We want to do what's right. We don't sneak extra cells on the refuge and do all these things that people do on public land refuges in California all the time. And anyways, he called and said someone's complaining that you don't have a permit for filming, which they have no clue that there's no record. You
How
cannot,
would they know if you
the
had it or
public,
not?
general public can exactly. And the guy know, the federal game warden knows this. He knows someone's just out after us for because they have nothing else on us, zero. And he goes, well, why are you doing this? Why do you care so much about these guys? These guys have been around for 4 or 5 years or whatever they have. Why have you never called before? This is the first complaint we've ever gotten about these guys. And he goes, besides that, you don't have no clue if they have a permit or not to film, right? Because it's about federal lands or whatever.
Yes.
And but by the way, just so you guys know, 9-10 months ago, the Supreme Court totally ruled that out. That you got to pay for that. So that's not even, no one can even come at you about that. You can film on federal land and you do not have to pay the permits. It's like $10 a day, $250 a month. I can't remember what the year is or something, but I had the list. Me and the game warden were talking about it. Anyways, but he was just basically it was pretty cool of him because he was just letting us know that, hey, this is what these guys are saying about you, but you don't have nothing to worry about. And it was just nice for a guy that don't know us to say, you know what? There's people out there that have vendettas. He asked them, I guess. He said, do you guys have a vendetta against them? Did they do something wrong to you? Did they steal your pond? Like, what did these guys do? Oh, no. There was like 2 or 3 of them, I guess, together as a group. It wasn't 3 separate calls. He said, did they do something against you or steal your pond or shoot you on accident, sky bus? And I don't know. He said, no, nothing like that. We want to check to make sure they're doing the right thing. Like they care so much about what we're doing, and that they have advertisements and stuff or whatever, and they're making money. They can't be making money without that. And that's why, the game warden just shook his head and was like, give me a break. Like, really? Who has time to do that kind of stuff? And the fact that they're wrong too is the fact. And it just felt kind of good. But how that's affected me from the beginning, Travis, me, you've seen the growth of everything. It used to make me really mad, like comments of people saying stuff.
Yeah.
And we would snarkily reply back and say stuff in some of the videos like, oh, we're skybusting this and that. And, but I've changed. I've grown over that. And I'll tell you something else. People have too, though, because there used to be people, I can name them right now and I won't. I know they listen to the podcast and they probably wouldn't even care that I mentioned their name. But they used to make some sharp comments and say some stuff in our deals. And I would always either not reply or reply nicely, or mostly not reply. And after they would get to see us on a continual basis after 4, 5, 6, 7 videos, they would actually apologize. I've got emails, people saying, I totally judged you wrong. I judged you off of one little 30-second clip of a video that, even though we weren't even doing nothing, they just thought the shot was too high because it's a GoPro. And we are friends. The one guy, he knows who I am. I just won't say his name. I don't think he'd care, but he's invited us out on his property to go dove hunting. We chat, we talk, we text. So I don't care who you are out there, if you like us or don't like us. If you met us in person, I don't believe for 1 second there isn't a person that wouldn't shake our hand, yours or mine, and be like, you know what, they're good people. And I'd probably feel the same way about you.
Yeah.
But people get jealous. People, what else is it? I mean, what else? I try to think of like why people even do that. Maybe you don't do it the way they do it. That's a big problem I've noticed in different parts of the world, in different states. People do things different way.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest. I'll raise my first hand and say I've been guilty of doing like, oh, that's stupid doing it that way.
Yeah.
And they're in Texas. Well, how in the world do I know what you need to do in Texas?
Yeah.
My judgment of other people has went way down because I've seen what I've had to deal with. So, Travis, to be honest with you, it's made me a better person in general with having this and dealing with the negativity and facing the ridicule because I have learned not to judge too quick anymore. Me and Kevin talked a lot about that. Mm-hmm. Kevin even said, yeah, I kind of like had a thought of you guys,
Yeah.
you know, and thought, he's like, man, they always got the birds, but they just don't do it how I do it. And he said, I had to overcome that is realize no one's going to do it like you do it. The only thing that makes it wrong is if you're being unethical.
Yeah.
If you're lying, if you're stealing, if you're cheating, if you're breaking the law, that's when you have an issue. And so, if anything, facing ridicule and negativity has made me better and stronger. Every once in a while, I like to have fun and poke the bear because recently, what was it? Someone was like, and they might listen to the podcast, I don't know. And I might want to say, if you do listen to the podcast, someone commented on our Idaho video that no wonder. That was our only comment. No wonder opening day was so busy, or I can pull it up, something to that effect. Mm-hmm. So that comment in general didn't make me mad or nothing. I just kind of I kind of made a joke of it. I even said some stuff on Instagram on the stories, like, oh, we've ruined duck hunting. And I kind of replied that.
Yeah.
And then they were upset that I replied, he said snarky. Well, I've watched you guys for a long time. I don't think I deserve this snarky response. And I was like, well, I was just giving back to you what you just gave to me. Like, see, people can't take the same approach back.
So, yeah. And sometimes I think that happens.
And again, whoever you are, if you're listening to this, I'm not upset at you at all. And I hope you continue to watch the videos. I mean, and don't get mad and shut us out for that. But I think if you put it out, I think you need to handle it.
Yeah, I think too, like, so let's say you in Idaho or whatever, right? You go different places, right? And like you talked about, people do things a different way.
Yeah.
So I think, and this is just me personally, if they seen you doing something that, wasn't within like their protocol, whatever, just like, hey, I noticed this about, what you're doing and that can kind of be frowned upon, I would recommend this.
Yeah.
But when you like verbally attack somebody,
right.
Well, what sometimes happens,
you can take that different ways though.
You get that response back, right? Or sometimes, text, you don't always like know the tonality behind it.
Yes.
And you can mistake that.
No, totally.
And I noticed that with text, with my wife or whatever, right?
Right.
You're like, what would you mean by that? Mm-hmm. Right? And like, that's not what the way I meant it. You know what I'm saying? But you can
misinterpret it.
Misinterpret the tonality,
but
because
here's
there is
the thing,
no tonality.
with that comment, that was not verbally attacking me, right? At all. But I'm going to pull it up.
It was like an insinuation.
It was but there's no way around that comment. Is basically what he was saying. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say that. Maybe I totally misunderstood him. And I actually said, I apologize if I misunderstood you. So I'm not out here to attack. I'm going to find it right here. Well, this one guy said, great. More Cali refuges in Idaho. Go home. We're full.
Yeah.
And some other guy actually came back at him. I never replied to that guy.
Well, I think with that
and then a guy said unsubscribed.
Yeah. But if you go someplace, I think, because as duck hunters, right, there's places like I've never been before that I want to experience. And if you get upset with me showing up there and hunting, then, that's really not going to bother me.
I've never thought that.
When
I pull in the refuge parking lot and see other states' plates, and I have.
Yeah.
I've never thought, like, what are they doing here?
Exactly. Because I think everybody should get to experience different things. And,
it's a free country.
If you're doing something wrong, okay, point it out, right? And I'm sure that as us, as knowing myself and you, that we'll try to correct that and not do that, because we don't want to disrespect somebody else. We don't want to disrespect their hunting place, right?
Right.
We're
not going to get that stuff in our videos to kind of blow spots out, too.
Yeah.
And if you recognize it, it's because you've been there already.
Yeah. We want to leave it better than what we came. We want to enjoy it, and then we want to leave, but we want to leave it, the way it was or better than when we came. So, like I said, there's going to be negative. I think there's positive in everything.
Well, let me read this because I if this guy's why is that comment not in here now? I can't find that. Well, anyways, I guess it doesn't matter. I don't want to get stuck on that one comment.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, I might have misunderstood the guy. I couldn't really interpret it any other way. But people speak differently and they mean different things. So who knows?
Yeah.
But I don't have no bad feelings about that at all. But it was just like, you're saying basically that this video was the reason why it was busy on the opening day, and that wasn't even when that was.
Yeah.
People have no clue when our videos are. They're weeks behind when we actually film them. Like everybody thinks, Travis, that video that came out Monday, they think that was our opener.
Okay.
Who cares? I could care less. Sometimes, as long as the longer season goes on, hunts are gonna be 4 to 5 weeks behind.
Yeah.
So people that are tracking us, not necessarily the people that really enjoy our videos, but maybe want to see kind of where we're at or what we're doing.
Yeah.
But there's people that watch us just to see where we're at, to leech off that, to try to go find spots.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is a hot place, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's very few and far between. But
I've talked about we've talked about this. If you know a spot, right? If you've hunted that spot before, you recognize it, and you see it in the video, then you're gonna know it's good. You're gonna know it's bad. You're gonna know when it's good and when it's bad if you know the spot. So I mean, if you don't want to blow out your spot, then why don't make a comment that, hey, you guys we know where you're at. Well, great. I'm glad that you know where we're at. That's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you know what we're experiencing, what you're going through, and you can relate to that spot. But if you're looking at it as a negative thing, or like, oh yeah, I know where you guys are hunting, then it's your mindset. I don't understand your mindset.
Well, and this is pretty sharp, but you're a sad excuse for a duck hunter if you have to base where you hunt and when you hunt off of someone else's stuff. Like, I don't think nobody's doing that. I sure hope not. I sure hope people aren't watching it and then trying to base where they go off of ours. Because, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're doing that. Surely people are not doing that.
Well, what I've experienced being a little bit older than you, somewhere out there, there's someone that is. Because there's different.
Look at, you know what I'm proud of?
There's a whole gauntlet of people.
You know what I'm proud of right now, and I'm going to say it out loud. Matt Walls, my brother-in-law. I'm proud of him. Because he went out there opening day afternoon, which is by far one of the worst times to go out to a refuge. And I've told him, we talked about it. He called me the other day and said, I did it, man. I shot my limit. He shot his limit. And he's very, very new hunting. I don't know if he's actually shot his limit before. I think that was his first time. Okay. He's shot, 4 or 5 birds at a time on hunts. He took my nephew out there, Logan, and they went out there, and I told Matt, there's just a few things I can give you, great tips that you'll use the rest of your life. And that is, if you come out in the afternoon, get your binoculars or just use your eyeballs in your head and look to where birds are working, right?
Not hard.
Not hard. Anybody can do that. Anybody. My daughter can do that. My 9-year-old can say, hey, those ducks, right? We landed over there. Okay? And I told him, I go, Matt, look where the birds are. Go where they're at.
Yeah.
If you're at a spot, I'm talking common sense to you, but like for people that don't know, some people don't think about these things, right?
Yeah.
Go there. You go there and they were still 100 yards from where you were at, move there.
Exactly.
And you move until where the birds want to be. And he goes, that's what he did. I guess, Travis, he went to a spot, he saw birds lying there, so he went where he thought they were because it was a ways away. He said when we got there, they were still landing just a little bit farther over. He said he picked up, moved it again, and he shot his limit. Richie shot like 4 or 5 birds.
Yeah, I think he shot 5.
Logan shot his first Drake cinnamon till, and
Landon shot a bird.
Yeah. Dude, I was like, I'm so stoked for you, Matt. See, I go, you don't have to go with us. Some people like, I got to go with someone. Like, no, you don't. Pay your dues. I told him that. He goes, you said that. Pay your dues, pay your time.
Yeah.
I mean, I get you want to, like, we're family, right? And I get that. And we've went on hunts and everything. But I'm like, duck hunting to me is not a massive group sport. I want to either hunt by myself or 3 people max. I don't want to hunt more than that. Like, that's just me. It's not that I don't have fun. We've been out there with 9 people years ago. I remember that one day.
13, I think, one time we had one pond.
Me, you, Richard Burns, Tom,
there was a
Tara,
ton of us.
I can't do that anymore. that was the stage of life I was in at that time. I can't do that anymore. And then you're fighting over who shot what, and stuff like that. And that's just not me anymore. I don't want to do that. Like, I avoid that at all costs. But I do like the camaraderie, though. But anyways, we've really
we've exceeded.
Well, what else? What do you got?
Oh, I just got a couple more, and these are just fun ones. I put on here. How do you feel about being responsible for keeping birds from migrating from Canada. You've kind of stopped them in their tracks. They're not going to migrate anymore. And then my last question, and I think I know the answer to this one, but I said why Sitka, and Sitka gets a bad name. It's criticized by some people. Oh, it's too expensive or whatever. And I think I know your answer, but you wear a lot of Sitka brand, and I know why you wear it. Personally, no, because I wear it too, and we wear it for the same reasons we've talked about it. And I can kind of answer this one for you. It's not about, oh yeah, look at us, we got Sitka on, we're cool, whatever. It's just about the functionality of it, the quality of it, how light it is. I've wore other stuff, and I think I know how you feel about Sitka. We're not sponsored by Sitka, but we really like their products. Not saying that we would never use another product if it came along. Right. Like, hey, this is cool stuff. Today I got a Killick on or whatever.
Yeah.
I have Kuiu pants on. Like, okay, big deal. It's just because. Yeah, is it more expensive?
Right.
Yeah, but it's about the quality. I've had other stuff that didn't last as long. It fades, whatever. Right. And so to me, it's like, okay, I'm going to put a little bit more money into my sport, what I like to do, right? I feel like use the best stuff you can. If you don't want to spend the money, fine. If you can't afford it, fine. But buy the best stuff that you can buy for what you have, and enjoy using it. It doesn't make you a better hunter. Doesn't make you kill more ducks, or who cares?
Right. It doesn't. And we've never said that.
Yeah.
Ever.
If I could afford a I don't know some off the wall brand of shotgun. If that's all I could afford, you know what?
That's what I'm getting.
That's the shotgun I would buy. If for years I shot, Winchester shells. They were cheap, and sometimes it was because of money.
Yeah.
I didn't have the money to go buy expensive shells.
Yeah.
I'd buy cheap shells. You know what? I had just as much fun, shot just as many birds. But now, I'm shooting heavy shot. It's just I like the shell. I like shooting it. I like the results. And it's not because I want to look cool or whatever. Because I'm not on every video. I still shoot the same thing. I still wear the same thing. I don't care. I'm out there just to enjoy it, be with my friends, be with my family, and have the best experience I can have while I'm out there.
Well, let me tell you a funny story real quick, and we can end it because we got to get out.
Yeah, we got to
go. But this week ago, speaking of Sitka gear, I had my Sitka waders on, and I had my Delta wading jacket, Sitka Delta wading jacket on top of that, on the outside of my waders, right? Because it's raining or starting to rain. So I had it on the outside, right? Not tucked in inside the waders, which I usually do if it's not raining, but it's kind of pointless, right? Like, if you're wearing the Delta wading, it's usually because it's going to rain. I don't like just wear that jacket just to wear it for warmth, because it doesn't have a shell, but excuse me. So I had on the outside, zipped all the way up to my neck. I was in the boat. It was just me and Rocky. I jumped out because I seen the water was clear and I could see a bottom. Like, it was like only about a foot deep. I jumped out. I went all the way down to my neck. I still didn't touch bottom. Basically, it was like a moss with stuff in the moss that looked like it was the ground.
Dirt, yeah.
So, word of advice: test the depth before you jump out.
You need a pole.
You need a long. I'm gonna put one in that boat actually,
just to measure it.
I already thought that.
It may save your life.
No, and that's the experience of not hunting out of a duck boat.
Personal flotation device.
I have one.
Yeah,
in the boat.
Let me get it before I jump back in.
Yeah, well, anyways,
whatever.
I went. Really, what stopped me is the buoyancy of waders getting tight and like just the pressure.
Yeah,
it stopped at my neck. Okay, so now I'm like, this all happened within half a second. I launched back out of the boat onto the timber deck, and realized I was bone dry. Not a drop of water. Had gone. How in the world? What happened is everything sucked to me
up and
because of the pressure.
Yeah.
I jumped out quick enough. I was like, that is amazing. That is a test I have not done yet.
And you felt you went to your neck.
I went to my neck. Absolutely did, dude. Both arms were under the water. Both arms. Travis, I have all my gear on, dude. I just jumped in. Like, I was thinking
I
jumping
wish Thomas would have been there filming.
Oh, my goodness. I wish I had a video so bad. And I had forgot my GoPro, though. Otherwise, I would have probably had it on and running.
Yeah.
That would have been epic. But anyways, so that's another amazing thing about that gear. That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, also, if I would have swam around in there, I'm not going to stay dry, but it was just crazy. Me and Rocky sat in the rain for like 4 or 5 hours, and I get to the truck, rain stops, I get out of my clothes, I'm bone dry, dude. Like, how many times have we hunted in the rain with our other stuff? It takes a little bit.
I have.
Okay.
I had a jacket
may
that
take an
weighed
hour.
50 pounds by the time the rain was over.
That's what I mean. Like, it may last for an hour, but at some point, it starts coming through.
Yeah.
And gear in general, no matter if it's Drake or whatever brand it is better nowadays than it was. But really, a lot of those companies have copied Sitka, though. Did you know Rogers now? I just seen their waders have the same straps.
Talon bought a pair of them.
And they have those straps?
Yeah, I was like, man, that's a huge improvement.
It
Because
is.
I had the ones before, they were like a plastic with like a little circle thing, and it kind of clamped in there. That thing broke. Because it was plastic, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then they had he just got his waders in from Rogers the other day.
Okay.
And they had
What
those.
did he get?
I was like, these are cool. The Elites. The only thing, I think they may have discontinued the zipper ones because Barney and them had the zipper ones, and we couldn't find them on the website.
Barney has zipper.
He has
Rogers?
zipper Rogers. I don't know if they. I was looking. The last time I seen him was.
So what's Talon's? He just got to roll them all the way down.
2019. Yeah, they have the Sitka style
Straps,
which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because they're fully adjustable and everything. But they don't have the zipper. And they're the 2-in-1, which I had a pair of those. I loved them, man. You take that liner out for early season, later season you drop that liner in there. Nice pair of waders. I highly recommend those Rogers waders. If I didn't have the Sitka, those would be the ones I'd be wearing.
Oh, dude, that's what I'd be wearing too if I didn't have this. So to end this, I want to end this on a positive note. I don't want it to sound like we're right, because look I ain't changing a thing. We ain't changing anything unless it's for the better. That's all we're trying to do is be better and do better and get better. But I ain't changing nothing because of what people say. People say, "Oh, do you?" Yeah, we are doing us, and that's what we're gonna continue to do. We're not gonna change, and I don't lose sleep at night because of haters and nasty little comments on videos or Instagram or whatever. I could care less about that. Sometimes I respond to them because it's just ridiculous or it's going against maybe ethics or something like that.
Or sort of that you think it's kind of it's almost comical in a sense.
It is,
you know.
it is.
And so you're like, you just make it's like when somebody razzes you about something, right? I mean, us, right? We razz each other in the pond, like,
oh, dude,
and I take it with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just us, having fun. And so sometimes you do that back to people, and you're kind of be like, yeah, you want to be snarky to me? I'll just kind of like make a sarcastic comment back to you. And we do that with people that we love, right?
Yeah.
And
all the time.
and it's just like but it's not gonna stop me from doing what you're doing.
No.
It's not gonna change who you are. You're not gonna be like, oh yeah, I know who did that. Forget those people, write them off. It's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
It's life.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Yeah, for sure. And so the positive thing is what I meant to say is after 95% of everything is good stuff. It's good comment, and I'm not saying I gotta have good comments or it really bothers me. It's not about that. But to me, all this YouTube, the Mid-Valley Mercenaries, the podcast is nothing but good. And I don't seek praise or applause. That's not why I'm doing this stuff at all.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I enjoy the people I talk to. I enjoy the hunting I get to do. I enjoy having the guests on that I have on the podcast.
Yeah.
I love this
The
stuff.
relationships.
I love this, dude.
Yeah.
I love it. Has nothing to do with, oh, good job. And I appreciate all the good words that are said. That's not, some people live and breathe for praise. I don't care.
Yeah.
Either way. But that being said, I appreciate all you guys that are constantly saying you enjoy it, that you watch it, that you listen to it, whatever you do. We appreciate you guys, and this is nothing but good to me. That little 1% of negativity, I don't want to focus on that. I'm focusing on the good stuff, and we need to get off here because we're going to go duck hunting, which
all
is a
right,
positive.
everybody, hope you guys have a great season.
Yep.
Be safe out there. Enjoy the time with your friends and family.
And we're keeping the
appreciate
podcast
your
rolling
time.
2-3 times a week. Stay tuned. We got a lot more to come. And by the way, we hit 79 on the charts today for all Wilderness Outdoors podcast. We're not even that far behind like Meat Eater, dude. We're like way up on the list. So thank you guys for that. We'll see you guys on the next one.